Jesse Kelly here. If given the choice between financial stress or peace of mind, I will always choose peace of mind. In today's world filled with inflation worry, bank closures, market instability, and the current global economic environment, peace of mind is everything to me. That's why I have secured gold and silver from Oxford Gold Group. Having precious metals in your home safe or in your 401k/IRA should be considered for your investment strategy. Simply put, it's a portfolio protection plan. Whether you are a savvy investor or you are just curious how gold and silver can help you gain peace of mind, call my friends at the Oxford Gold Group. Securing your IRA or 401k with real gold and silver is as easy as 1, 2, 3. One app, one call, and you pick your precious metals. That's it. You now own real precious metals just like I do. Call Oxford Gold today and ask about exclusive free bonus opportunities. Call 833-901-COIN. 833-901-COIN. That's 833-901-COIN.
99X, it's the Morning X, Barnes and Leslie. Want to get into, we had James Otley on, I think about a month or so ago, and Fram, I know you were not here. James is a fourth-generation Atlantan who has published 2 books on Atlanta history. Have you seen these?
Yeah, there's the Atlanta History for Cocktail Parties.
Right.
And then Atlanta History for Cocktail Parties 2, another round, which both you can get on Amazon.
I love that, another round. Anyway, so the theme, we didn't get to this in class last time, and just like Barnes on History in France, you do get college credit for listening to this segment. So, hey, James, good morning. We didn't get to the Ferrys last time. Let's get into some of that, and specifically, first of all, how are you?
Hey, I'm doing great. How about yourselves?
Doing really good. Did you get a lot of backlash from your appearance last time? Did anybody hear you?
Yeah. In fact, my son's history teacher brought it up in his class.
Wow.
He had heard me on the radio, so that was kind of cool.
It was kind of cool, but probably embarrassing for your child, right?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah, I know how that goes. Well, we had on the agenda in class last time, you had some stories about, and I love these Atlanta history stories, about the Johnson Ferry and also another ferry. Want to get into the Johnson Ferry story. How was that road, first of all, named?
Yeah, so all of these roads, that have the ferry, in the name are named because it was an actual ferry that took people across, the Chattahoochee River in this case. I mean, the road was named after the ferry. You had to stop and have somebody pull you across the river by hand.
Whoa.
I did not know that. That adds a whole new visual when I drive down that road.
That's strange.
Right. Can you imagine, like, the traffic, and road rage that would have now if you had to stop and at 5 o'clock traffic and have somebody pull you across the river?
So that bridge right there where you would launch to get in the hooch, right there, that whole huge area, someone would just pull. It was not like a standard ferry. You're saying they pulled them across?
Yeah, I mean, we're talking about like the 1870s here and before.
Wow.
And so, yeah, they would, literally pull you across. Maybe you get 1 or 2, horses and buggies on there at most, and that was the deal.
What a trip. So it got the name that way, and what's the significance of the area with the history?
Yeah, so, I mean, it's kind of an interesting story. The guy that owned the ferry was a guy named William Johnson, and there's an unsolved crime with respect to William Johnson. He died and was buried in December of 1879. And 2 of his buddies went out to pay their final respects after the funeral and saw that the mound where the grave was rough and irregular. And they actually went back that afternoon, I guess as any good friends would do in the 1870s, and dug up the grave to see if it had been robbed. And lo and behold, they dug it up and nobody was in it.
No.
This is like something for unsolved mysteries.
Oh, absolutely, Leslie, absolutely. And so they called the sheriff, and they started the investigation. And the crazy part is they interviewed the guy that was running Hurd's Ferry at the time. And he said, 2 guys had crossed, they had crossed Johnson's Ferry in a wagon and asked the guy, who was operating it, where Providence Church was, And then later that night, recrossed the Chattahoochee at Hurd's Ferry. And that ferry, the guy that was running the Hurd's Ferry, said he smelled a kind of a foul smell coming from the back of the wagon. And he asked what it was, and the guy said, "Oh, that's just a drunken colleague of ours who passed out and got sick, kind of like the original Weekend at Bernie's."
Yeah.
So they actually went to the medical college in Atlanta at the time, because at that point, medical colleges were having trouble finding cadavers, and they were paying $100 per body.
Wow.
For cadavers. Isn't that crazy?
So the dude,
wow.
We're talking about William Johnson, so was stolen from his grave and sold for $100 for a cadaver.
I mean, that's what they think. But the thing is, they never could find the body. The police went down there, went to the medical college, and the ferryman who had smelled the bad smell identified the janitor as one of the guys that was he crossed that night. But he said, "Hey, look, man, I don't know anything about any missing bodies or any wagons or robbed graves or anything like that." So they never solved the crime.
So is there any kind of a marker that would show where he was buried now?
Oh, yeah. The grave is still there. Grave marker is still there, but the grave is empty. Remains empty to this day at Providence Church.
Wow. Oh, it looks like it's a grave, but there's nothing there?
There's nothing. I mean, there's nothing. There's no body that's buried there.
It's too bad there didn't have DNA back then, DNA evidence to kind of find the body or the bones.
Man, I had no idea all these ferry road names. I mean, that is totally going to change when I'm driving on these roads now, thinking about that. Okay, so that's the Johnson Ferry. What about DeForest Ferry? Wasn't there also some true crime tag to that?
Yeah. Are you ready for your double axe murder story for the week?
Wow.
Ooh, yeah.
Yes, please.
So sadly, this guy Martin DeFore and his wife Susan moved to the area in 1853 and took over Montgomery's Ferry, which was located where Chattahoochee Avenue crosses the Chattahoochee and then turns to Atlanta Road.
Yeah.
They took over the ferry. They renamed it DeFore's Ferry, and moved into Montgomery's house just up the road. And then the story turns kind of dark. If you're ready for it.
Yes.
Yeah. So at 6 o'clock on July 26, 1879, his grandson was walking past his grandparents' house, homestead, and he realized, hey, they weren't awake yet, which he found kind of weird. So he went inside, and he found that his grandparents had both been brutally murdered, in their beds with an axe. I mean, like nearly decapitated. And it was a crime.
That was a precursor for what Atlanta is like today. That was a little preview.
Oh, Barnes.
That is scary. So is that house marked? Like, do we know where that house is?
That house was torn down, but there is still a Montgomery family cemetery, which is kind of hard to find, but it's on Chattahoochee Avenue, just kind of up the road from where the bridge is. But here, let me tell you some more kind of scary stuff about this.
Please.
Sure.
The really scary part was that the killers had been hiding in the house before the murders took place. The upstairs room, the beds had been slept in. There were muddy footprints. They figured the killers had slipped into the open window the previous day, concealed themselves in the house until that Friday night before they went and got the axe and murdered the four DeFores. And
whoa, they were staying there.
And they helped themselves to a snack and some milk, apparently, before doing the crime.
So are you writing another book, James, that will talk about, these unsolved mysteries and crimes?
Well, I am. I don't know that I can say that I got a target date, but I post a lot of kind of these history blurbs, on Instagram and Facebook, and in a way, the book is kind of writing itself. I just need to put it all together. I think it will probably be more like a Georgia history for cocktail parties.
Excellent stuff, James. You can catch James' books on Amazon, Atlanta History for Cocktail Parties, and then the second one, the follow-up, Atlanta History for Cocktail Parties 2, Another Round, and those are easy to find. They're great coffee table books. I have them on my table, as a matter of fact. James Otley, thank you very much for coming on with us.
Thank you.
My pleasure. Thank you so much.
The Morning X. with Barnes and Leslie. 99.
Jesse Kelly here. I'm not a financial expert, but I do look for solid investment opportunities for investment growth and protection against loss. I do know that putting all your eggs in one basket is not a good financial plan. Securing your IRA or 401k with real gold and silver with Oxford Gold is as easy as 1, 2, 3. Or you can buy precious metals and keep them in your safe. One app, one call, and you pick your precious metals. Call 833-901-COIN. That's 833-901-COIN.